Welcome back here to Mudgee for the Asia Pacific Opens Touch Cup for 2026. A cracking encounter here. Men's Open action. Lebanon up against New Zealand. A rematch of the World Cup semi-final. As off they go through Andre Bakos, James Preston and Jackson Mills to take you through it. This should be a cracking encounter. Bakos.
Half moon, James. Yes, you're right. It's going to be an absolute cracking game.
Oh, Azzy with a little double pump and then the late release. Of course, Lebanon coming away with the bronze medal from that 2024 World Cup. New Zealand going down to Australia in the final, and nearly that ball going down as well. But I'll tell you what, it was a tense encounter in the semi as well. Lebanon had their measure for probably the entirety of the first half. They were in front at the split in the semi.
And I tell you what, the first 30 seconds of this match, Lebanon putting their stance on the New Zealand attack, struggling to come out of their half, and there's superstars all the way through this fixture. So I know you love him, James, but E4 Jones, New Zealand, a men's open player, probably one of the best, if not the best touch footballer in the world in the current game.
Now Bakos showing it a couple of times, late switch, popping a pass
on.
Flicked on, here they go once again, and then Stephen Tachi probably had a bit more time than he realised there and simply tried to fling it away.
Told you what, he tried to rip it, but New Zealand, again, they're so good at coming out of their half, just always on the go forward. But again, Lebanon showing great defence and good line speed early.
We know that they can be a very aggressive team at times. They love jamming in with that fast line speed. New Zealand, though, finding inroads here. Last one brought up a little stunner step, and now Morgan Tafia looking for support out wide, but Lebanon survive.
Great read by Bakos. Coming off the line, I tell you what, if New Zealand hadn't touched him, he was away. He looked sharp on his feet too, Bakos. He's got to work early, showing good line speed for Lebanon as they drive into New Zealand's half now.
And Josh Bakos with a good follow-up. And that one called a mutual infringement. And then the turnover.
It's got to be ball down. I thought the ref was going to let it go, but he actually completely dropped the ball.
Of course, the one big change here.
That's ball down
Lebanon.
too. Ooh.
So probably the two big changes, I should say. No Jason Stanton this one, of course, led them in the World Cup to that bronze medal. And not to mention as well, Luke Mansour off the wing, arguably the most informed winger in the world right now.
It's a massive loss for Lebanon and an absolute gain for Australia. Mansour, hailing from the Parramatta Eels, one of the best wingers in the world at present. And it makes sense. He's being picked in an Australian Asia Pacific Cup team. But yeah, New Zealand just seemed a little bit rattled here against Lebanon early on in this fixture.
And they certainly have a tendency of doing that. Of course, you cast your mind back to that Australia v Lebanon round-robin match at the World Cup, and they did have the Aussies rattled for probably the first 15 or so minutes before class came to the fore. Still plenty of class in this Lebanon team, though. As now Bakos floats a pass. That one looked to be forward regardless. Falls a little short of Abu Zaid, and that will be the turnover.
One of the key players for Lebanon, number 4, George Azzi, he's so good at actually coming in from the box, running either the latching one, so as soon as they come to the box, he gets the ball and straightens up into the New Zealand defence. But he's done it twice already. He's been the workhorse for the ball players coming out of dummy half. So keep an eye on number 4 from Lebanon. He's just an absolute workhorse and sets his team up on the line.
Interesting to note as well, in the opening 4 minutes here, haven't seen either of the Catalano boys so far for Lebanon. Now, a lovely one-handed scoop for New Zealand. That was Poi Hippie who reeled it in. Here he is once again, operating out of acting half. To Akana Hudson, then marching forward, then trying to step away from Bakos. And I think they might well point to the spot here. No.
Ooh, yeah.
Overruled from the sideline official. So last one brought up. New Zealand still threatening, though. They'll take off on this right-hand side. Good touches made, though, by Luke Maroon.
Great defence by Lebanon. Not shying away from the dangerous New Zealand attack. As he just ripping a bullet across. Oh, how good's this attack, though, from Lebanon? Just New Zealand letting Lebanon march up the field.
And so Swift, a couple of dummies, and they pick up extra meterage on each play. Quick release once again. Now for Stephen Tachi. Drops it about 20 metres from the try line. Benji Matter. Oh, squeezing a pass. Jeez, it was a good ball, but an even better read from New Zealand.
Great line, too, by Bashara, just on the outside of the link. Yeah, New Zealand just coming up with the touch. And if you've seen in the New Zealand attack, when they come off the line, the first thing that they do is the first guy takes a step, dummies, and buries it straight into Lebanon's defence. For most teams, it would worry him, but Lebanon really up to the task early in this one.
E4 Jones out there as well, and he'll get a chance to strike inside the 7 perhaps. They'll turn a pass back to the middle, though.
Great
Quick
touch.
release. Morgan Tafia nearly dove over, but as you mentioned, it was a clutch touch right on the line.
Nathan Bashara just outstretched, making that touch. It had to be made because New Zealand were in for all money. And what a fast start this is, James, in the first 5 minutes of this one.
It's been terrific action so far as Azzy's back in to the thick of things through the middle. Quick release once more. Now they'll have a little takeoff here through Charbel. Azzy eventually hits the deck, and after 5.5 minutes, impossible to split these two teams. They both look likely. Jones now, 10 shy of the halfway line. Down a short side they go. Nackler has been defending there, but he has a little rest now. Quick release once again here for New Zealand. Morrison getting that fast play the ball. Scooped up here from Durban Burgess, who couldn't quite get it away. So even though they're bending at the moment, Lebanon, not quite breaking.
They had them cooked in the middle too, New Zealand. Ryan Goss just getting turned inside out by Durban Burgess, driving it into the field, and an error as well for Lebanon, gifting New Zealand great field position. So you can't give New Zealand any field position through errors because they will punish you.
Now Finch and then Winiana. Finch hopping in and acting half once again. Davids to Akana Hudson, navigating around that 7. Picks it up once again. Big dummy now to Akana Hudson over the top. Rips a 30-metre pass just for fun. Finds the man out wide. There's the finish. And after nearly 7 minutes, New Zealand finally break down this resolute Lebanon defence. What a ball that was from Taukana Hudson.
Well, you know how quick Davids is around the ruck. So when he split, the defensive line of Lebanon actually followed him. And I fell for the dummy that Taukana Hudson fell through to him as well. Picks up, easy as you like, 1-2, bang, throws a 30-metre pass to the winger. And there you go, it took 7 minutes, but New Zealand now 1-0 up against Lebanon.
So Jackson Infram's the try scorer for New Zealand. Wonderful pass there from Tuakana Hudson. Lebanon needing a hit back here. Bakos just outside the 7. Azzy. Now Andre Bakos linking up with Josh. Oh, big strong contact there from Hawken. He was a little off kilter in fairness. Wasn't quite with his full bearings in the balance, and then they'll simply kill that pass well and truly away from the New Zealand box, and that will be a penalty as a result for the intentional throwing of the ball over the sideline.
Yeah, it's been a fast start from both teams, hasn't it? I mean, Lebanon getting up the try line every single time. New Zealand actually letting them drive the ball to them with basically zero line speed. But every time both teams have the ball, they're so good at going forward. I mean, Davis just has foot speed to burn, as does Francis Morrison. And Durban Burgess, one of the fastest men on the field, gets him behind.
Durban Burgess just split them, now looking for support, finds it. He was tiptoeing along that dead ball line, waiting an eternity to link up with a man in free space, and did exactly that. Here it is again. Durban Burgess just puts the foot down. So speedy. Staying alive was Poi Hippie. Along with that man there.
Tamatia Winiana actually done well to keep up with Durban Burgess. Deceptively fast he is. So quick over the first 5 metres, and by then he's gone. You basically give up in your mind. You're saying, nah, he's gone. There's no way I can chase him down. But Winiana doing what good teammates do, backing up and actually jinking his way around the in-goal to get the ball down as well.
So Inframs and now Winiana try scorers here for New Zealand. 2-0 after 9 minutes. Lebanon looking for that opening try. Little jinking effort, then a short delivery into the arms of Goss, but Goss has turned away. Last one brought up here for Lebanon. Carry it out to this right-hand side with Maroon, and then Maroon set upon.
That's twice they've done that. We obviously know what they're trying to do. Throw the ball away, Lebanon, so gives them enough time to get back into the defensive line as New Zealand have to go and fetch the ball from 20 metres away and then march it back in. I don't mind the tactic if you're Lebanon. You've got to try and upset some of the best people in the world somehow, if it's through physicality, vocalising on the field, which we know Lebanon are very good at. Just the little tips and tricks and the gamesmanship, just to try and throw the Kiwis off their game.
Well, they certainly have been disrupting the flow so far. Once again, there's a strong touch. It won't be called as forceful, though, so there's that aggression you're talking about defensively as well. Before Jones then plays it. I'll go away from him on this occasion. Quick release back to Morgan Tafia. Heads out to this left-hand side. It was already caught, though. Morgan Tafia certainly didn't agree with the call. Back to the middle he goes. Last one brought up. Little stunner step from Hawken. Hawken with an angle switch. All played out there from Lebanon. And in fairness, they probably had to make a play at it.
100%. It's actually the best case scenario for Lebanon.
Now Morgan Tafia scheming once again. Here's E4 Jones. Hasn't really pulled the trigger as of yet. This time it's the sleight of hand. And even Lebanon had to applaud that one. Bashara with a wry smile. He was well and truly beaten by the guile of E4 Jones.
It's just that stutter step. I don't know how he does it. But Bashara comes and tries to shut him down. And E4 Jones just gives him a little tap on the head. Say, unlucky young pup. But he does it every time. I haven't been able to work out what he does. E4 comes into the line. He does a little stutter step. It squares up the defence. And then he picks either right foot or left foot, takes one step, either dives at the line or manages to give it because the defence has to collapse on him. It's got to be the bucket hat, James, I'm telling you.
I think you're onto something here because he's such an unassuming type. You don't expect the big slide and dive. You don't expect the sleight of hand.
But he can do it.
He can do it all.
So you just don't know what he's going to do with the ball. But Lebanon now in good field position with a good split up.
Oh, intercepted, though, from New Zealand. Great. And a quick roll ball,
There's
too.
Durban Burgess.
Now Durban Burgess has the speed. And we'll try and get away from them. Eventually shut down by Lebanon. But 2 plays and only 10 shy of the halfway line. So turning defence into attack very quickly. Durban Burgess, then for Davids. 4 down. E4 Jones back into the action. Quick release. Then for Finch. Now space out wide. Rapati. Lovely pass.
No
and what
way.
about the reel in from Inframs, who somehow took it from behind the body and gets it over the try line. Jeez, the party trick's coming out now for New Zealand.
My goodness. Toma Ropati. Just look at him square up the defence. Kicks 1-2. Passes that. And what a pull in by Inframs. Oh, that's his second try of the match. And what a way to do it. Running at full speed, sticks his arm out behind him, it sticks in his hand and manages to bring it in. What an athlete.
The scary thing for the rest of the teams here in this competition is Lebanon haven't done too much wrong so far. They're down 4-0. They've asked questions with the ball. They've marked up defensively, but New Zealand just so classy. Long pass now. On the return there is Tachi. Tachi, as quick as he is, can't squeeze through that gap. Last one brought up. So do they simply try and kill it away over the sideline once again? There's a little slip of a pass there from Tachi.
Yeah,
Won't be pinged for that one, though.
No, you're exactly right. Lebanon have done basically nothing wrong. New Zealand are just too strong at the moment, able to get over the top of the Lebanon's defensive line. But they're just so good at going forward, New Zealand, and finishing the ball down the other end every single time, and they make Lebanon go the length of the field. Got to hand it to you. 4-0. Lebanon have been doing unbelievably well to keep it at that.
A good carry once again here from Poi Hippie up towards halfway. Then from Morrison. Morrison once more finding a few extra metres. Davids bouncing around. Durban Burgess once again. Durban Burgess takes off or splits them, and he's done it 3 times already. Links up with support once again. It's now a hat-trick there for Inframs, who's been on the spot time and time again.
It was Durban Burgess and Winiana just following him in. Again, just getting there. Down for his second, but Durban Burgess, you could see them. They were throwing it left and right. Davids had it back to Durban Burgess. Durban Burgess wanted to go from dummy half, and Davids actually managed to get the ball, sneak back into the middle of the field, get a good strike dump, because they know the attack of Durban Burgess and the speed. Gets it down, picks up, and into the in-goal. Just like that. Oh, they're super athletic, aren't they, New Zealand? But now Lebanon back on the attack.
Nakla caught there right on the try line. Now once again for Shah Belazi. Turns it out to this right-hand side. Last one brought up. Maroon plays it. Long floating pass over the top. Nakla with a bit of skill. Just couldn't quite find the mark, though. Benji Matter was pushing through. Nakla does have the height to get above them and look for that tap back, but it's a tough skill to throw.
I don't mind that from Lebanon. Looking for Robert Nakla. He's an experienced campaigner. Played so many games for Australia. World Cups, Trans-Tasmans. Now on the wing for Lebanon. But Maroon actually dug into the line through long, and they're looking for Nakla to actually bat the ball back on the insides of the link because the defensive link of New Zealand has to collapse in. So I actually don't mind that from Lebanon. I think they might go back to that again.
Azzy with a little bobble before reeling it in. just ahead of being touched. Hard to believe we've already had 15 minutes of play. There's been so much action. It's gone by in a matter of moments. Now Joey Matter scheming. Gets it at first receiver. Little stutter step. Oh, lovely pass from Matter around the corner. They're desperate for that one to be called in their favour, but Goss was touched just as he was falling toward the try line. Last one brought up. Matter once again, long floating pass out to the wing. They'll simply kill it away from the New Zealand box.
They've obviously got a plan, Lebanon, to kill it on that side, but you can see most of the times New Zealand are able to get at least 10 to 20 metres on that first touch. And I mean, look at the drive now from the New Zealand men's opens team. They're flying up through Ropati. And your man, Ephraim's James.
He's out there once again with the Durban Burgess now taking off as Morrison. Morrison with speed. I'll tell you what, as good as E4 Jones is, for example, I think there's been none better on the field than Durban Burgess so far.
Well, they've been able to work for him. You see, E4 Jones, his strong suit is when he's close to the line. Durban Burgess, you need to be 20, 25 metres out for him to show his real skills with that speed, being able to pick the ball up from dummy half. If E4 picks it up from 20 metres out, they're just going to tag him. They need him right up to get into the game.
So turnover there from Lebanon. Just having a look on their bench too, I don't believe we're actually going to see the Catalano boys in this match. I can certainly see Junior. He's got the training tracksuit on.
Yeah, they're in polos, both of them. So I don't know if they're trying to keep them fresh for future games so they can try and finish as high up the ladder as possible. Could be a play from the coach. We just don't know.
I'll try and track that down after this match and give you the latest insight. Two real superstars of the game now. David's turned back on the inside here. Drops it down just inside the 7 himself. And then David's skipping past one, skipping past a second. Dancing like Fred Astaire on his way to the try line. Geez, that was classy. Slow it down and turn it into a music video.
That was so good by Davids. Look at him actually get the ball down really quick here. See him stretch out and commit to the defence. Most players would actually pull it up, wait for the defence to come, and just absolute cracks back off his left. And putting the ball down just behind the try line, making it look too easy, Davids. He's also another super speedy player as well for New Zealand. So if you see him in open pasture, it is good night.
So 6-0 now the score. New Zealand just dominating against a very, very talented Lebanon side. They just can't find a way through at the moment, though. Azzy now with a static start will have to send it wide, and once again, easy pickings this time for Turner. Well, who do you turn to? That's the other question here for Lebanon. It's not as if they don't have those weapons on deck. Without the Catalano boys, what would your advice be to that team?
Well, Lebanon are trying to go static. You saw in the first two sets, they were actually running in really well to the try line, and it was causing a bit of defensive question marks from New Zealand, but Lebanon have now reverted to statics. They need to be rolling into the line. We mentioned it at the start, as he's so good.
Oh, here they go again. Sorry, Jackson. Durban Burgess into the backfield, and once again links up with Winiata. Jeez, he's ripped them to shreds time and time again, although, hold the horses. It looks like we're going to come back here. Can only imagine.
Call from dummy half. Ryan Goss was the only player near Durban Burgess, and he was screaming at the referee. I just don't know if he was anywhere near onside.
That's the big question, of course, for our new viewers to Touch Footy. You might be tuning in from overseas. There is no marker, so to speak, once a touch is made. You've just got to retreat that distance. I'm with you, Jackson. I'm not sure he did. We'll back the referees, though. They're on the spot. We're up here in the booth. So just over a minute remaining. Bakos linking up once again. So both Josh and Andre out there. Josh in an acting half now. Floats a pass over the top. Nothing really doing for Lebanon. Everywhere you look, New Zealand have their measure.
See, Lebanon just aren't creating enough space on the open side. So they're trying to come back. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to create an open side play where they have one extra player against New Zealand's defence. But they're doing it through the middle of the field, and they're not opening up the New Zealand defensive line enough. So if they can get the strike dump or the clean play the ball further to the right-hand side of the field, it's going to open up.
Oh, nearly taken from Abu Zaid.
I tell you what, if Abu Zaid didn't touch that, New Zealand was scoring in the corner through Ephraim's. He was away. A little cheeky play there from Davids and Ephraim.
And he took the odds to it there, Abu Zaid. Had to do so. It's now a quick shift down to this left-hand side. E4 Jones again. That sleight of hand nearly had Nackler worried. I'll tell you what, Nackler is not turning and chasing anybody.
Absolutely
He's a
not.
wily customer, but I don't think speed is the top attribute anymore.
Why would you when you can just go for the intercept?
So last one brought up as the siren sounds. That'll bring an end to this very entertaining fixture in the first half. But New Zealand, they're in cruise control. And I'll tell you what, I think this is a bit of a warning shot to the rest of the competition, including Australia.
Well, Australia, they're sitting just in front of the commentary box here, getting a first early look at New Zealand. But I tell you what, Lebanon have actually stuck it to them. They've done everything right, as you mentioned, during the first half. But how are you meant to match it with the likes of Durban Burgess and Winiana, who have kind of matched up 3 scoops and 3 tries apiece? And then you got the likes of Davids, who are just playing around the middle, showing his left foot, right foot. And when those guys are off, E4 Jones comes into the attack. What are you meant to do?
Well, if it's not speed, it's skill. They burn you no matter which way you look at it. New Zealand in cruise control here. After the first 20 minutes, 6 tries to nil. We'll take a quick break and all the second half action in just a moment. Welcome back to Mudgee, Glen, Willow Regional Sporting Complex, the venue for the Asia Pacific Opens Touch Cup for 2026. New Zealand putting on a show in this first half and putting Lebanon to the sword for that matter. 6-0, all off the back of Durban Burgess and that speed, Jackson Mills.
I'm tired even watching it, James. My heart rate's above 100, and I'm just standing here doing absolutely nothing. But, yeah, watching the likes of Durban Burgess and Winiana linking up, and we saw some spectacular try down the wing from Jackson in frames, reaching behind his back to bring the ball in and score in the corner. But here we are, it's 5-0. Second half match, and E4 doing what he does best, jinking left and right. But Lebanon up to the task on that occasion.
He moves like a boxer, bouncing around in the ring. Anytime he gets inside the 7, it is danger signs for the opposition. Now, E4 Jones again, quick release. Now, that was thrown for mine intentionally into Lebanon.
Great
and the
call.
referees agree with you, Jackson.
No! Oh, I don't know about that.
I think you're right. That was thrown directly into the defender. He never tried to make a play. I think it was Matter in the end.
Well, it should have been a forward pass then, but oh well. New Zealand, good field position.
Now a quick release once again. Down
trap.
the short side. That was beautiful. Into the arms of Rayhana Finch. And Finch goes in. So New Zealand, in their very first foray down this end of the field in the second half, come away with points once again.
You can see it from a mile away. You can see the winger just shifting across. And you just knew it was coming. You see, that wasn't 6 again. I don't believe that was 6 again. But moving on to this. This is just too easy. As easy as you like in the corner. He did this last year against Australia to put them in the lead, actually. But, yeah, you don't want to be letting tries in like that. That's just too easy from New Zealand.
So Lebanon in desperate need of a try here just to give them something to work with. A bit of confidence back into the system. Backos, short delivery. They'll play it inside the 7. Now the dummy and then straightening as he nearly fooled them.
Chabu Azzi, that's some great athleticism. For him to be able to read the defences actually coming towards him, get the ball on the ground, snap off his left foot, and then go for the try. But again, good defence by New Zealand. However, great attack on that occasion from Lebanon. We want to see more like it.
So New Zealand carting it forward now. Lovely delivery, digging deep into the line before releasing that pass. And now still options on this left-hand side. The flick pass came out, but it was more in hope than anything else. But Winiana, geez, he has come up with some incredible plays, so you wouldn't put it past him.
And he's looking sharp too. Morgan Tikva coming in the middle, just straining up on the defence, jinking off his left and right. And a couple of early touches here for New Zealand. Great line defence here against Lebanon. They're struggling to go forward. And Finch, we just saw him score an absolute cheeky try in the corner. You can come up with any name for that. What would you call it, James? I'm calling it a mousetrap.
Mousetrap play. I'm going for the old the PI sneaking around. You can't quite find him under the cover of darkness. And certainly New Zealand came away with a brilliant play there. So up towards halfway.
Oh.
Now the flick pass out of acting half just for good measure. E4 Jones just dancing forward. Never really gets himself out of second gear and still causes so many issues. Tuakana Hudson tracking out to this right-hand side. Then back towards the middle. I'm just toying with them here at the moment, New Zealand. There's the one-handed dummy a couple of times. Picked up quickly. E4 Jones scheming. Nearly found the right pass. It was a good read, in fairness, though, from Guy Luca Conti, who jammed in off the wing. But they'll be pinged for offside here, Lebanon. Another set to see off.
Yeah, you'll see Tuakana Hudson and E4 Jones dink around the middle. They've got trick plays up their sleeves, left and right. You've got Rolls Paiwai as well, giving it back to Tuakana Hudson. And what a shutdown it was. Joey Matter, great read. But now they understand the links are going to be jamming, so watch New Zealand adapt.
Jones once again scheming, threatening to pull the trigger. Nearly didn't need to. Simply by holding the ball in two hands, he made at least one slip and nearly a second fall over as well. Now Lebanon up over.
Well, that's ball
towards
down.
The halfway line. I'm going to say there was a foot drag through the ruck, though.
That's tough. Lebanon getting away with one there. Good field position. We spoke about it in the first half. Lebanon look dangerous when they're running into the line compared to a static play. So you got Azzi. He's on there. He knows how to set the ball plays up. And here he goes now, getting it down for his team.
Azzi dropping it short, and now Jacob Matter trying to just isolate defenders. Unfortunately, though, another indiscretion in the roll ball here, so turnover is called. 7-0 to New Zealand. Now, just confirming as well, for anyone watching at home thinking, where are the Catalano boys currently suspended? That's what we found out. So now David's up towards halfway. Won't get a chance to launch a raid. There's another turnover, this time in favour of Lebanon.
Yeah, a little no-touch, cheeky play from Lebanon. Pulling out of the touch just as he was about to play it. And we saw in the previous set from Lebanon, as he drove in for Maroon, and it looked strong, it looked good. Unfortunately, the pass was forward from the ruck, but they look dangerous when they're running into the line.
So now George Azzi once again directing traffic, linking up here with Jacob Matter. Matter hops in at acting half, then back to Azzi once again. Matter on this left-hand side. Azzi scheming, threatening to pull the trigger, eventually linked up with Bashara, and then he came up with a touch pass. That is the turnover.
Still looks good, though. Lebanon looking really sharp when they're actually running into the line, and Knuckler was standing there with his hands up.
Oh.
You thought Azzi may have, after his first pump, took that one step, thrown along left to right border. Knuckler, he was calling for it. But now New Zealand gifted some good field position.
There's a touch on the ball there that Azzi had to make. Once again, they'd stripped them for numbers down a short side, just changing the angle. Azzi stuck out the mid and brought an end to the play. Now, E4 Jones. Then into the arms here of Hawken. Bouncing around through the middle. Fast footwork there from Rapati. Now Jones once again scheming. There's another late switch. Rapati once more out to this right-hand side. It's too good from New Zealand. Clockwork precision with surgical execution about every single pass. That is from the top shelf from the Kiwi.
Well, Tama Rapati, he's just having fun out there, staggering and starting, and then it was a late switch back on the inside from Hawken to E4 Jones, and Ropati picks it up again, and it's just an easy 1-2. Hawken out to Finch. Making it look too easy, New Zealand, but just goes to show how skillful these players are. Able to read the defence. As soon as they get them chasing one way, they switch it back underneath. Great foundational skills there from New Zealand.
So 8 tries to nil. Double to Finch. Baniana, Inframs as well. It's been a real team performance so far for New Zealand. Losing their footing on that occasion for a couple of defenders, and then Gosh trying to link up through the middle with good charge there from Sharbel Azzi, but turned away. They will get an extra set though, Lebanon. So a chance to set up and apply a whole heap of pressure here from 7 metres out. Bakos back into the arms of Sharbel Azzi. Bakos once again threatening and then goes directly at them. Now, he was thinking potentially that both feet weren't on the line. That's why he went directly at the man.
Now they're looking at a New Zealand ball. Forward pass or something that the referees have called. Yeah, forward pass from Lebanon from half. Fortunately, a chance scored begging there. Andre Bakos was possibly in a try-scoring situation, but David's now putting it down, Lebanon. If they can shift to the left, they got some numbers.
They go there early, out to Bakos, who decides not to pull the trigger. Instead, will turn it back to the middle. Sharbel Azzi once again, playing it on the 7. Bakos looking for an opening. Certainly none forthcoming at the moment. New Zealand shooting out very quickly. At line speed, just applying so much pressure, however, a little bit too quick. They'll be pinged for offside.
It was a good touch from Turner too. He's a big body on a much smaller man from Lebanon, so just getting his body in front, really forcing him to bend his back and get him down. But New Zealand, they're so good at defending the static play. They're really good at sliding with one another. So Lebanon, again, we've mentioned it a number of times, they need to be running and digging into the line, forcing New Zealand to make a decision on the line.
Now Bakos linking with Azzi once more. Here's a little wraparound play. Bakos not delivering on this occasion, instead went to the left-hand side. Azzi once more. Bakos with Benji Matter floating about in support. This time they do link up with Matter. The ball hits the deck though.
Oh, trouble here. Davids is away. We mentioned he's very quick.
Incredibly quick. Oh, Josh Adokar, eat your heart out. The Fox is free in Mudgee. However, it comes with a new moniker. It's Davids who simply burns them. The moment he touched that ball, it was like watching Gout. Good night.
We mentioned how fast he was, and unfortunately, Lebanon, the ball goes to ground. New Zealand pick the ball up, dump it on the 5. David's first receiver, and away he goes. You can see how fast he was. Durban Burgess knew Davids was just on his left. He pins the ears back, loses the hat. Oh, how good's that look? No one's getting anywhere near Davids. We said if he's in open pasture, there is no one that's going to catch him.
Great awareness too, because initially he wasn't on side, quickly hopped back, made himself an option, and then called for it, took off. So, massive margin now. 9-0 the score. Again, we look at Lebanon and we think, you know what, there hasn't been too much wrong with the performance, but New Zealand just that good. Now George Azzi keeping alive through the middle. Scooped up once again. Azzi's still there in support. Long pass over the top. It was the right option, just not quite hitting the mark though.
Hit the nail on the head too, James. We've said it a number of times. Lebanon are doing exactly what they need to do to put enough pressure on New Zealand. Unfortunately, their execution's just not there at this point in time. But hey, Lebanon will go back. They'll look at this video. They'll look at the footage. They'll review it, and they'll understand where they can be better leading into later in the tournament, because they have enough talent to really be there at the end.
Of course, they are most pundits' picks for a bronze medal, so to speak, to follow up their performance at the World Cup as well. Jones now scoops it on the last and then floats a pass as calmly as you like back over the top, and they were trying to link up out wide once again. But good pressure there on Tuakana Hudson, forcing the turnover on the last. Now Lebanon can try and work it up towards halfway. Got around about 9 minutes remaining in this contest. Lebanon certainly deserve a try. See if they can conjure up one here, but just haven't seen any chinks in the armour yet from New Zealand. Last one brought up now. They'll take them on a retreating defensive line. Matter away from one, away from two, and then Jones reads it to perfection. However, they are offside. Right smile from Jones. Another set to work with, though, for Lebanon.
Referee letting Lebanon play the advantage out, and it's good. They've got the running foot speed, Lebanon. Always asking questions of the New Zealand defence. It's great to see. You got Steve Tachi in the centre. He'll be dictating terms alongside Josh Bakos. If he gets the ball back here, they're in for a good shot.
Oh, Bakos got very low very quickly. Good touch in the end from Turner, who only just got his feet back on the line.
I was watching him the whole time. I reckon he just got back, but Bakos should absolutely go back to that again. You can see how high the Lynx are playing from New Zealand. If you can get the touch on them, they have to get all the way back, and that's play on from Lebanon.
Lovely bit of skill there. Joey Matter bouncing around off the right, off the left, and then launched himself at the try line, slams it down. It'll look great on the replay. And they conditioned them for a couple of plays, Jackson, before launching the raid.
You see New Zealand getting two in the touch there. And Lebanon absolutely taking advantage of that. How good does that feel, putting a try on New Zealand in the Asia-Pacific touch? Oh, that'd feel good. You'd be on cloud nine, wouldn't you, James?
Certainly would, especially being such a young player. Joey Matter getting across the line. Now Davids, watch out again for the speed. Drops it just on the 7. Lovely scoop. How about that for a strike dump? And then nearly twisting away from defensive pressure. Morrison almost found a passage. Lost his footing, though. They just don't stop asking questions, however, New Zealand. Durban Burgess again, then the late switch into Morrison. Toying with them here.
They're killing them with the switches.
It's always well timed. They don't just do it willy-nilly, New Zealand. Durban Burgess, now for mine that was played at, and the referee will agree, so another set to work with here for New Zealand. So less than 7 to go, sorry Jackson.
No, see, one thing with New Zealand is they're so good around the middle and they're so good with their hands. You should actually be forcing them to throw long. So if Lebanon can actually try and shut them down
they'll go long here, though, sorry, as Durban Burgess beats one, sends it wide, and then nearly bouncing away was Morrison.
So if Lebanon can actually force New Zealand to make the pass, that would be a win for Lebanon, because we've seen all of these tries happen around the middle of the field with Durban Burgess scooping through. But if you make them throw the long pass, I haven't seen New Zealand score out wide once like that.
That was interesting too. Durban Burgess happy to backtrack 15 metres just to give them a bit of space. Now Davids, Morrison, draw and pass. Now was that touched in flight? No, says the referee. Last one brought up as it arrived in the hands of Rapati.
6 again too.
There it is, the late call, so it was indeed touched. I don't need to panic here. New Zealand, they can set up shop. Davids.
Great read.
It was Joey Matter, the man that scored the try, this time jamming out. And that's 2 inside the 7. They have to be very careful here, Jackson.
Yeah, one more penalty and someone's going to be sitting down for a set for Lebanon. But hey, they've had 3 consistent sets on the line and Lebanon have defended every single time. They're staying nice and composed and condensed in the middle. And New Zealand not really knowing what to do at this point in time.
And Davids taking them on. Big left foot step and then stretching out off the back of the right foot.
Great touch as he collapsing in over the top on Davids. Watch his left foot too. Bang. And then off the right, dropping low. And Lebanon up to the task.
Short delivery once more here. Rapati out to that right-hand side. The change of speed was exceptional. Short delivery there for Morrison. Looked to be four potentially. They'll wave it away, though, and wave away the defensive concerns, too, with a big pirouette. And over he goes. So try there to Morrison. I've still got a question mark on the pass in the lead-up, though, Jackson.
A couple of question marks in that set, but it looked like one of those basketball moves where he spins and then goes for the layup, but just gets the ball back on the inside. Yeah, I tell you what, as he didn't actually get back to the line, but there was questionable pass into the lead-up. But again, James, you're one of the best couch referees I've seen. The on-field refs are in the best seat in the house.
I'll always back the referee. I will tell you this much, though. I think we've got the best seat in the house here. Nice and elevated, and a glorious outlook, too. Not just the mountains, but the field itself in peerless condition. So 10-1 the score, though. Just over 4 minutes remaining. It looks like a blowout, but it hasn't really felt like one. Lebanon again on the attack here. Andre Bakos, short delivery. Azzy then finding support there with Benji Matter, who's forced into a bit of a retreat. They keep it alive here. Razzle-dazzle from Lebanon. Now a quick drop down. Bakos has them backpedaling. Takes them on out to that left-hand side. I'll tell you what, had they simply put the foot down there, they had New Zealand worried.
Bit exciting to watch there from Lebanon. Some fast hands just throwing the ball around. Well, I think from both teams that the ball skill's just been absolutely phenomenal, and it's a very dry track out there. There was a bit of dew on the field this morning, but it's completely dry now. It is perfect conditions here in Mudgee.
Last one brought up here for New Zealand. Before Jones stays alive in the play. Thought he got around the man. He might well have. No, Matter is claiming the touch, and the referee will agree. But just going back to that previous set there from Lebanon, I think that's the blueprint, Jackson. Just throw it around a bit, something unpredictable.
Well, you hear in the back ends of rugby league games when they say, let's just play some touch footy. That's exactly what they're doing, throwing it around, confusing the New Zealand defence at times. But you just have to try and create something, try something different. There's 3 minutes to go. Let's have a bit of fun.
Break the mould, so to speak. As Lebanon tended over once again here. I think they've put a foot on the sideline. Yes, they have. So New Zealand will get great field position once more. Pretty much bang on the halfway line. So less than 3 minutes to go. Big show and go there from Tuakana Hudson. And Jones out on this left-hand side. Again, the sleight of hand. The big dummy comes out. An extra 5 metres he picks up as a result. Winiana, long ball to Inframs. Inframs back to Winiana once again. Met there by Tachi. A little show and go there from Morrison before delivering. Durban Burgess again threatening. Davids, Winiana tracking out to this right-hand side. Another switch. That's 2 in the one play. It's been their go-to throughout this match. Long ball from Winiana that was never finding its mark.
Pretty impressive, though.
It was a good 35-metre pass.
They're laughing about it too, but yeah. Strong performance, though. Game 1, New Zealand Men's Opens, really showing the rest of the world how good they are. And we mentioned Australia is sitting here in the grandstand, getting first glimpses into their new team. I tell you what, I'd be nervous too, just watching how good and how strong they are. But Lebanon, they've been good. They've been really strong, especially running into the line throughout the game. But yeah, just haven't been able to execute, unfortunately. But hey, really good signs for them early in the tournament.
Look, you've been there, you've done that. You're over in Nottingham in 2024. Taking a look at this New Zealand side from up and out position here in the booth, are those changes, do you think they've overall improved New Zealand? Is it about the same? Where are they sitting, you think? They
seem a lot better in defence. They're making very key and structural decisions. They've obviously got new processes in regards to their defensive lines. Some of the times New Zealand just guess on what's going to happen, but they've been really strong, particularly around the statics of Lebanon. They can really see, as you can see, the referee calls play through, and great shutdown late by Lebanon. But you're right, James. They look strong. They really do.
So Abu Zaid made the touch there right on the line, but of course the initial infraction was offside, so they'll get one final chance to put another try on the board here. 10-1 the score. And of course, that's the last thing you want to see. E4 Jones returning to the action. They might not need him, though, because too much speed from Rapati, who simply took off and burnt them through the middle. 11-1 the score.
Tama Rapati just showing how fast he is. It actually comes from nothing. Look, he just stops, waits, starts and just takes off and just burns them on the outside. As soon as you're a defender and you see that little bit of space between you and someone who's a little bit faster, it's one of the worst feelings you can have.
And nothing Ryan Goss could do about that one. Simply a speed mismatch. Final seconds of this encounter. Our opening men's open fixture. The Asia Pacific Open's Touch Cup for 2026. It's been a dominant display from New Zealand. One that has rung out a warning shot to the rest of the competition. Lebanon, again, we've harped on it a couple of times, Jackson. They didn't do too much wrong, but just a class above New Zealand.
Yeah, they were strong. But we mentioned Lebanon, they did really well. We saw them with that running into the line rather than those statics. They look dangerous. And, hopefully we can see Catalano boys come back in later in the tournament after they've served their suspension. But, yeah, worrying signs for the rest of the field with New Zealand looking really strong.
Lebanon will beat plenty in this tournament. Don't you worry too much about that. Let's take a quick look at the
this one is
highlights
hilarious.
Here.
The old mousetrap on the outside, just Finch sneaking. He's done it plenty of times. He's done it multiple times against Australia, just diving in the corner, catching the winger off guard. And it's just the ball speed and skill set of New Zealand. They're able to just create numbers, create space, and Finch again going in on the line. And we saw in open pasture, Davids, what a sight that is. No one able to reel him in. Runs the length of the field, and it was the quick adaptation of New Zealand to pick up the ball and just go all guns blazing. They were just
in every possible respect as well. It wasn't just the speed, it wasn't the long balls short, it was the jinking efforts. I had them in every possible measure, New Zealand. A dominant performance, 11-1 the final score. Up next, we move to our Women's Open Division. Hong Kong, China take on the Philippines. Scotty McAllister will lead you through the action for that one. A quick break, and we pick it up in just a moment across Bar TV and International Touch.